Yo, welcome to the Sing Zone podcast. I'm your host, Zone. You're joined here by our host, Breezy. I don't know why am I.
Somebody's getting
Yeah.
tickled.
It's all good, but I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Did Zone say something? I can't hear him.
Yeah, my bad. I'm all muted and stuff. Terrible start.
It's all good.
Let's just bring it back. They did not hear that beginning.
No, they definitely heard it. They definitely heard it. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
We got audio everywhere. No, what's going on, everyone? You know, we're not perfect, just like everyone else. Hope you guys are doing fantastic.
Shout out to Hannah Montana. Nobody's perfect.
Net Hannah.
Hey, man, it's a classic song. It got me through middle school.
Oh man, just you saying that brings me way back.
I forgot how that theme song goes. The Hannah Montana one.
Well, I actually know it by heart because I have a younger sister. She, that show was her life, bro. It was crazy, man. Her whole Montana out. We had car trips. We had to listen to it. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't. I had my fair share.
Yeah, that song played so much that I pretty much know how it goes, but I'm not gonna go ahead and sing that because I don't want to torture you guys.
We'll do it one time. Put it one time.
Oh no.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I forgot how that song went. That's impressive. I think I might need the whole song for refresher.
Oh man.
It's a classic. Gotta put on the wig for it. The blonde wig. And it's showtime.
Give me 1 second. Let me go get it.
But yeah. How do you guys feel about oh man, I can't believe this is an actual thing, but like there's actually a McDonald's anime coming up, and it's being made in collaboration with McDonald's and Studio Pierrot apparently. And it's supposed to be airing in I think just 2 days actually. Apparently it's going to be 4 episodes I think. And those 4 episodes are going to air between right now and they're going to go on into the 18th of March. And McDonald's, they're also doing a thing where they're doing like special promotion where they have like merchandise and stuff promoting the anime. They got a special Wick Nugget sauce. The anime is actually called Welcome. Yeah.
That's just a funny name.
Wick Nuggets, I know. Like the anime is called Welcome to Wick Nuggets. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
they're gonna make a lot of money because McDonald's, it's a high, money making franchise. So definitely smart. I say smart, good business on both ends. So City of Hero, that's a good bonus for everybody. I think that's thinking about it because I think in their recent interview with the delays on the Boruto anime, they were stating that because of how Bleach is running and how the success of it, with it being seasonal and how it's giving animators time off and all that stuff, I think this is where they're quote unquote getting their bonus from. This McDonald's, if that makes sense. They're probably getting like a large lump sum sponsored from McDonald's itself. But this is clearly like if you're making an anime, you're getting a whole anime. That's like, hold on, 4 episodes? That's 4 episodes worth of advertisements, So yeah, I don't know. That's really smart. So that's a good, nice bonus for Studio Hero. I don't know. That was me putting 2 and 2 together. Right there.
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Facts. When I heard about the McDonald's anime that Studio Pierrot was actually creating or producing, I guess, it was kind of interesting to me because the first thing I heard of, first I hear the Boruto anime is, not going to be possibly airing, is rumored to not be airing until 2027 or 28. And then the McDonald's anime comes out. Like it looks like they went with the higher dollar here. McDonald's, the higher competitor, that can pretty much buy out the Naruto franchise.
Honestly, they should.
And then of course, Bleach on top. So Bleach over Boruto. I feel like Bleach is gonna pull in the higher crowd. It's existed for years. The original otaku know about it. Just primarily on like Twitter and stuff. You get like the weebs, talking about Boruto. We get rarely any like otaku, I guess, quote original otaku who talk about Boruto nowadays. Freaking NC Hammer, called himself an otaku, and then he apparently he made a discussion about this, how he got some flack about calling himself an otaku because he's only like 26, 27 years old, and technically I guess he would barely cut it for so he basically started calling himself a weeb, and that's how he got his weeb commander name, because he was getting some flack for that. And I honestly think it was because he wasn't as knowledgeable at the time about anime, and he had to educate himself, so he basically doubled down when it pertained to that. But
what qualifies one to reach that status of otaku? Or
I mean, according to like Japanese people, like if you're like basically new to anime, you're a weeb, right? In the last decade, you're a weeb, right? And there's like 3 different definitions of this, right? There's a weeb, there's like an otaku, and there's like something else that I'm forgetting at the moment. There's basically like the in between, right? From what I remember, I could be wrong, because it's been a while since I've actually felt the need to check on that. But it's just because Japanese people want to gateway things, and you get things like this, and really I think this really kind of fell on American ears, because a lot of Americans wanted a way to I feel like it was kind of segregate themselves away from like the normies, right? So they basically was like, yeah, we're gonna go with this. We're gonna start calling ourselves otakus, and there's back and forth. This was like early 2000s, 90s, but just a little history for you guys. I guess you travel
lore. We love it. Otaku lore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I had no idea in Japan there were like levels to it. I didn't know.
I know.
Like to me,
not interesting.
Yeah, like to me, like I think of weeb and then otaku as the same thing, or just roughly within the same definition. But I didn't know like there's whole levels to this in Japan. That's interesting.
I always assumed an otaku would be someone who was like born into it, like all their life they were exposed to anime. So I guess it's not even just that. You have to be. It's more to it than that, I would assume.
No, it's just because like anime wasn't really like even known really until like a lot of people really didn't even know about, or didn't even start to establish really a fan base until maybe like the mid 80s to like 90s.
Gotcha.
Of course, the the attack on Japan really kind of set things it's very, very charted territory that thing I'm diving into here, but I think it really kind of changed up the culture a little bit, and I think that's all I'll say about that. It created a shift, but without I guess drawing any correlations at the moment, I think as far as the I guess otakus, yeah, that's essentially what that is.
Gotcha.
So that is mad interesting. You heard it here first. Otaku lore.
Yeah, but yeah, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Those are, I guess, they technically fall in line with like that cutoff or of otaku, of like the original otaku, right? But because it's just because like that's technically when a lot of there's a lot of nuance to it, right? But one of those nuances is, I guess, the sense of originality before every shonen started to have that same type of recipe, right? And so now like everything's not really original. You pretty much shonen is kind of defined more thoroughly now, and you can be like, yeah, this is what a shonen is like, right? You could define that, and this is what a seinen is like, right? This is what a you could define that. So
gotcha. That
it's
makes
a
sense.
little bit more difficult just because it's typically more broad in its nuances. But yep.
Zone though, what do you got on Solo Leveling? I heard that episode 8 got delayed.
Yeah. Episode 8 of Solo Leveling is supposed to be airing March 2nd, from what I'm hearing. And of course, I definitely missed the episode today, which we were going to play that in the watch party today. And I was typing it in, right? I was like, okay, let me go ahead and type it in. Time to watch Solo Leveling. And I went to like 3 different sites, and I was like, there's no Solo Leveling. And then I looked into it, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. It's not until like the 8th. I'm sorry, March 2nd. What is that, like a 2-week hiatus?
Yes, a minute.
Wait, no, that is next week, is it not? Because February is a short month, or is it next week Sunday?
You're right. No, you're 100% right. Yeah.
Because thank goodness. But yeah. I don't mean to cut you off. I do want to say this. I say this every time, but quality over quantity. If they have to delay it for quality's sake, I'm all for it. I mean, I don't know why people are punching the air. I hope there's no studio issues. That's usually if that's why people are concerned. I get it, and that's usually why people are concerned, because studio issues usually happen when delays happen. So that's usually So if that's not the case, then
they are with Production IG, right? Isn't Production IG the studio that's creating the anime?
I believe so. Yeah, for Solo.
If that's the case, I know another anime that we'll probably be talking about very soon. I guess that'll be coming up, but Kaiju number 8. That's going to be coming up this week. So,
see,
that might be what's interfering with it. I don't know.
Are they're still same studios?
I believe it's Production IG as well. Yeah,
that makes sense. And you know what's crazy? I can see the similar art style. That's interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, that's so unfortunate.
How did you feel about the last episode for Solo Leveling though, Zone?
Me? I thought I gave my opinions. I might have cut that part out. Honestly, the last episode was pretty damn good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like the anime is doing a fantastic job at adapting the manhwa, right? Which I think a lot of manga adaptations fail at doing this. Like, I think I can't really think of one single shonen that is as consistent and is able to kind of flesh out the emotion, or flesh out the emotion present within the manhwa, to kind of create and develop on those portrayed traits, right? There are some, like I feel like Bleach does a good job. One Piece does a good job at doing that, but as far as like what's the most consistently, like on a page by page basis, I feel like Solo Leveling is definitely making a name for itself, and its animation was fantastic. The emotion within Sunjin Woo, I think, was fantastic. It was fantastically displayed as far as the step-by-step process and thinking like, okay, like what is the thought that's going through his mind in this moment, or these people's minds in this moment. Like that stuff was portrayed in the monologue, but it was really kind of, I think, it is really fleshed out. Is probably the best way I could word that.
Yeah, I agree with you on the pacing and on the animation itself. I thought they did a really good job with the episode. The only thing with that episode though was like I seen Sung Jin Woo. He got pawed by the Cerberus when he was fighting the Cerberus and he went flying. And it took like half or like 70% of his health. And then by the time this man had no health left, like he was literally being gnawed on in like the Cerberus mouth, and it barely started taking any energy from him. I was just like, how is this going on? How is this man still alive through all that? But the episode itself, it was really good. I enjoyed it, like you said. So I don't have a problem with episode 8 getting delayed for a little bit. I'm with Sai on as long as they're keeping up, with the quality, I'm weighted over quantity. So
that's what's up. I like the sound of that. And speaking of delays, we have another delay, and coming from a surprising studio, Studio Mappa. They recently released a title called Buchigiri. Forgive me if I butcher that. Buchigiri. I tried to add a roll to that, but I think I messed that up. Anyways, yeah. So episode 7, unfortunately, is delayed and will be released on March 21st, and that's a long delay. That's actually like a few weeks. Like that seems like 3 weeks from now. So I haven't actually been watching the series. I think it's a similar premise to that of Chainsaw Man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but basically, the basic premise is the boy's trying to lose his virginity, basically. So it's the same thing here. I don't know what everything else revolves around the story, but if it's animated by Studio Mappa, I would assume it's at least one that's worth checking out. The only thing that's interesting about this is that it's Studio Mappa that's actually hosting this delay, and I wouldn't expect Studio Mappa to ever have a delay in anything, being that Jujutsu Kaisen, it could have benefited from a lot of delays. Being that certain episodes, even one of the best episodes of the entire season was stated to be 30% completed.
Yeah, I also heard with this anime, the reason why this one in particular is being delayed is that there's a world table tennis event being broadcast at the exact same time as the episode is supposed to air. So they didn't want to derive attention away from the episode, so have the best its best viewing.
That's understandable, but like going back to what we were saying before, like quality is over quantity, and I think everyone, if especially for the animator's sake, because like I think with them, they love the work that they do, and for their peace of mind, they would want to put in everything they can and everything, and seek out what they have envisioned for whatever product that they're trying to deliver for us. So to allow them to have that, give them a lot of time needed. And even if you have complaints, because like I don't know, it's weird. It's weird that we are even complaining in the first place. We're just, I don't know. This, I guess you could, since we were, using new terminology, the weebs, the newfound weebs.
Oh man, people
there's just, I don't know.
People feel very entitled nowadays.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to.
And little did they know, like, we're so lucky that we're in a golden age, when we're at least being delivered an anime with good animation and art, But sometimes you will have some animes out there that just have good art, like updated art, but like the animation itself is,
Right. I feel you. Zone, what have you thought about Ninja Kamui? I know that debut, and I haven't really got a chance to talk to you about that one yet. I watched like the first episode as well, and I've I heard that the ratings of the first few episodes of his debut was even over the ratings for JJK.
Yeah, I want to first start off by saying that Ninja Komoe is directed by JJK's season 1 director Shoto Gosho Zono. It's a tongue twister, sort of. This guy's obviously good, right? And I think he's worked in like different series like Fate, right? He's got a little bit of talent, right? And you know, I think with this director alone, I think it really shows. The choreography is fantastic. The first episode was phenomenal. Yeah, I don't doubt that the ratings were actually, above what they're saying, and the second episode I think was very good. I think I like the way they're pacing the storyline as far as Ninja Komoe goes. Like I said, I feel like Ninja Komoe is a definite contender with JJK. I wasn't even fully aware that JJK was they had the same director as Ninja Komoe had the same director as JJK's season 1, which is interesting to find out come this last few weeks or so. But I think, like I was telling Sai in the last podcast, that for sure Ninja Komoe, if they could just maybe up the quality, or not up the quality, but keep it consistent, and really um emphasize the impact moments within the story, I think they'll do an excellent job at really allowing it to shine, and have its a lot of people have been hyping it up on Twitter. A lot, select few have been hyping it up on Twitter, but some more of the popular voices on platforms like YouTube and Twitch X, right, have started to really acknowledge it, and I feel like it's sort of obvious that it's something to be acknowledged. And like I said, the first episode, if you haven't seen it now, go and check it out. It was great. It was great,
Yeah.
to say the least, right?
Yeah, definitely. The first episode was pretty great. Like I said before, when I seen like the trailer for it before the anime dropped, like it was giving me futuristic, like John Wick kind of vibes. Because the first thing I thought about when they killed the guy in the beginning, and they killed him again in the episode, was like somebody being excommunicado, and then they're going after them for execution. So it's pretty good. It was pretty much like how I thought it was gonna be. He's being hunted down, kind of thing, sort of like John Wick. The beginning kind of the beginning kind of gets you in the feels though, because they got you like with this man. He's with his family. He's playing the guitar. He's got a son and everything. He's out in the middle of nowhere, I guess, kind of disguised, looking like Ken Masters. And then here they come out of nowhere, and they take his whole family out, and it was pretty sad. But you kind of know it's coming though, because everything was so serene and peaceful in the beginning, and then it's just like, oh man. But when the action hits, like it really hits for this one, like you said, it's really well animated, and the fight scenes they were pretty great. So if anybody hasn't seen episode 1, definitely give it a check out.
Yeah, it caught me off guard at like every turn. I was like, what? What? Oh my gosh, what? No, what? It was crazy, like every single turn. And I don't know if there's a manga for this. If there was, I wouldn't read it, because I like the way that they're pacing it so far. As far as anime goes, I feel like it creates more of a cinematic appeal, that it really kind of creates that tone for the series, right? That maybe if there is a manga, it could do a good job, but the visuals are out now. So I mean, like I said, if there does tend to be like some type of manga for it, and they cut it off early, like, or I don't know how many episodes are allocated for this season, but say the season does roll around, maybe I'll hop on it if that opportunity presents itself. But yeah, It was crazy, man. That's all.
Yeah, me too. I just like the way it was. I can't believe that I can't believe they killed the son too. Like they even killed the son. I was
Bro.
thinking for some yeah, like I was thinking for some reason, like when I heard the son say daddy, okay, maybe they were gonna like hold the son as a hostage kind of thing. But nah, it didn't go that direction at all. Like they took everybody out. I was even I was even hyped too though, when he was on the building and then he did like hand signs like he's a Naruto character, and then he had like the smoke screen come up and it took everybody out. Oh man, like
he's a ninja. That isn't exclusive to Naruto. That's an old school ninja thing they used to do back in the back when they used to and at least in a lot of Japanese movies.
yeah.
They would, of course, I'm forgetting what the technique is called, but you essentially use, hand signs, and you would of course create jutsu by they represent, of course, certain dragon, certain animals, certain fictional creatures that create environmental
Chi or energy essentially.
right?
Yeah.
Or energy, right? Yeah, it's all chi based, right? And chi is actually not the best way to describe it, but you guys get the picture.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
But yeah, that's another good thing that they added in the series. The hand signs. I do like that. I felt like a lot of people would automatically think, oh, that's something from Naruto. They're trying to cop Naruto, but that's not something that's exclusive to Naruto at all. Naruto borrowed it, and Ninja Kamui is gonna borrow it. They also might draw a string to, or a correlation between Kamui and there being a Kamui in Naruto, but Kamui is a god. He's not, not a or is a fictional another fictional character within Japanese philosophy. Forgetting or not if he's God, but yeah. So these things aren't exclusive. I try to separate each anime so that you get your own perspective and you're able to kind of view it as an independent sense. Yeah.
Moving on, we have Kaiju number 8, which premieres in 4 days, February 28th. Isn't that amazing? The big dog, the big monsters are actually coming finally.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So I don't know what the name of the studio is, but it was mentioned earlier. Could one of you guys bring that up again? What was the name of the studio producing this?
Production ID.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm very interested. I know when the trailers were dropping, a lot of fans were furious about the designs of, I believe his name is Kafka, the main character.
Yes.
So I actually read like the first 50 chapters. So or 50 or 60 chapters. So this series is pretty. It's solid. I enjoyed it. I need to catch up and do a nice little binge of this to catch back up. But yeah, I was enjoying what I was reading so far. So I'm really looking forward to this. So this is going to be another animated add to the watch list. So this will be a contender at least for this anime season with Solo Leveling at least. So and it's produced by the same studio. So I'm pretty sure they're going to, because I think it's going to be the same energy we got with Jujutsu Kaisen and versus Chainsaw Man, except this time we're getting 2 at the same time. So it's going to be easier to compare the 2. Whereas before we had 1 year we got this, next year we got this, and then the next year we got this. We're season 1 JJK, season 1 is Chainsaw Man, now season 2 is JJK. So next year we get into the Chainsaw Man movie. Anyway, yeah.
I honestly don't even think there's that much hype surrounding Kaiju number 8. I know there's some people, but it hasn't really been trending like that from what I've seen. especially on X, but
I can see that too. Honestly, yeah.
I see a lot of potential within Kaiju number 8. Just because it's taking a whole new direction, right? It's incorporating monsters, it's incorporating it's able to kind of adapt or use humor in a lot of aspects. And kind of course it's a shonen, but we're gonna get a new side of shonen aside from like the typical Japanese lore, right, and the yin and the yang, at least seemingly for now, right. Kind of chill on that aspect, and then we get monsters because 2024, like I said, is gonna be the year of the monsters, man. The year of the monsterverse. We got Godzilla coming out. There's so much coming out. There's I spoke about did we speak about? No, we haven't spoken about it yet. But yeah, man.
In due time. It's
very high.
But yeah, I believe that concludes our anime segment. So moving on to tech news and updates. So first up on the list. So actually, this news was actually announced roughly a month ago. However, it's been trending, at least on my social medias, and I'm sure yours as well. This is Disney. They announced a prototype of a technology that's called the Holotile Flooring, which is basically, it's exactly as you can envision what its name sounds like. It's a floor that you can walk on, and it's moved. The tiles are movable. It has like it gives that move, like it feels like you're moving on a treadmill, but you're fixated in place. So this will help augmented and VR realities add more layers to its development and become more just better, overall better. So I'm looking forward to see how this develops, and this can be added to a lot of things. You see a lot of anime nowadays that's based in crazy, alternate realities, and with this technology, the light of this is just a glimpse of stepping into that, realm of, academia.
I definitely feel like I've seen some concept cars by like Mercedes and some other. That's just one to note, but by a lot of newer concept vehicles that are creating these hypercars that have these tires, right, that aren't like the typical tires, but I think they have this material on them, and they essentially kind of glide on the road. I don't know if it's the same material, but it looks very similar. I guess
that's what I thought of when I saw it immediately.
It looks like that, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is definitely a way of the future. I like how you worded that, Sai Sensei. So as far as like the it being used with like VR and maybe AR, yeah, people could hardcore game in their room, regardless of how big it is. They could go mad, depending on how resilient this is. I'm sure it'll get resilient over time. From the trailer, it looked extremely resilient. Like it, people were running, walking and running on it, and using their VR. And so, yeah, like this is the future. Like I said, the future is here. And we're here to, of course, be a part of that future. I do like the idea of like it being used. It's probably one of the best things I like about it is that it could be used as like whether that's like VR like or AR like Apple's AR what's it called, the glasses, right? You slap those on, and then you're like, walking and scrolling and just maybe taking care of tasks, and maybe, hey, let me swipe that to the left and just be on my computer, or swipe it to the left. Let me put on an episode. Like just people, utilizing these things. And realistically, like you could create a world like this, right? And you could basically, you could probably end up programming it to where you're walking through like a extended reality type of world, right? Where it's like completely augmented, and you've had maybe like imagine a tunnel, right? like of cyberspace. You're just walking through it, right? But you're using your physical body. And if you've ever played like Beat Saber, which is able to kind of use some of your hand movements, right, to kind of depict where you're at, that's essentially what it's doing for your feet. And then when you put the glasses on, it essentially already reads your hand movements, right? It reads what you're touching, and it's extremely, extremely accurate. That's actually kind of scary how accurate it is. But with this in combination with this in conjunction with each other, I feel like it's definitely a good step forward in this case.
I'm very excited in this aspect that it brings, because this is like, this is undeniably a positive step in the right direction for gaming, in a sense that it offers a means of mobility for people, like actual physical mobility in the gaming aspect, in which people, they're not prone to sitting on their chairs. And, like as Zone stated, as this becomes more feasible over time, and, it becomes more resilient, you can actually like run on it, like do sprints and stuff. Oh, it's over with. People will actually, you can actually challenge friends across the country to races and stuff. I mean, just imagine that, that's just crazy. So,
that's a good point. Maybe you could race people like physically, maybe they could host the Olympics on it.
Host a VR Olympics. That would be crazy. People play for money. I don't know. Like, there's just so many ways. So many things to do.
Yo, we need the Cyber Olympics 2025. I'm telling you, the future is here, bro. We're not going to be doing like everyone else. We're basically pushing this technology to its peak. We're gonna have like Olympians, testing this equipment, making sure it's durable. So, the next iterations are even better. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fantastic. And possibly
not excited.
I think there was also the introduction of a new bionic eye by Elon Musk. What do you guys think about that?
What kind of eye is it? What does it do, and what type of support does it provide? Are you guys familiar with that by any chance?
That I don't know. Let me find out.
Because I know he just released his Neuralink recently, and I don't know. I think it's done with his prototyping phase, so I don't know if this is linked with the same thing, whether or not this is in the prototyping phase or whatnot, or But I would believe it's used with the same technology, in which is, if it's what I assume it is, it reconnects the nerves within the eye tissue or provides some type of eye support that a damaged eye nerve cannot provide.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm assuming it's like you're saying. It's a similar concept to that. Where it provides support to the nerves of the eye in a way that can improve vision. Is my assumption of how that works.
Interesting. I mean, I'm hope that
I had it pulled up. I was trying to pull it up right here. Let me go ahead and there we go.
Brain chip implant on humans. Elon Musk's brain implant startup Neuralink is recruiting patients for a clinical trial.
In this video, I'm going to break down all the latest advancements in brain-computer interfaces and bionic vision, from the revolutionary technology to the complex surgery it requires, as well as its unfortunate complications. And I'm going to talk about why this technology will change life as we know it. Elon Musk has publicly announced that his startup Neuralink and its cutting-edge brain implant technology will aim to restore vision and cure blindness.
The first two applications we're going to aim for in humans are restoring vision.
And this is not some future projection. This is reality now. Neuralink.
That's crazy.
Recently received FDA.
That's lit.
In clinical trials.
That's so lit. I love it.
24. Neuralink will be implanting their microcomputers into human brains on real live people. And they'll be using automated surgical robots to perform the surgery. Neuralink's technology and brain-computer interfaces will change humanity forever. So let's get you up to speed with what's been going on behind the scenes.
They already did. They already did a test trial.
I'm a board-certified ophthalmologist with Puente Hills Eye Care, and I make videos to help you see better, look better, and feel better too. So let's take a step back. Implantable microchips, robotic surgery, brain-computer interfaces, what exactly are we talking about here? If you can see me talking to you right now, it's because there are light waves coming from your screen onto your retina, or the thin layer of tissue in the back of your eyes that detects light signals. Our retinas take these light signals, then convert them into electrical signals, which can get sent along the optic nerve to the visual cortex in the back part of our brains. So if any component along this pathway is malfunctioning, perhaps a cataract or clouding of the lens in your eyes is preventing light from hitting your retina, or maybe glaucoma is causing damage to the optic nerve. If any portion of the visual pathway isn't working, then we will have problems in our vision. And one of the fundamental concepts of how our visual system is designed is what's called the retinotopic map. What this means is that our brains organize information about where things are in the visual world around us. So each neuron in the visual cortex, or the part of the brain that's responsible for our sight, each neuron will fire based on a small part of the visual field, which is called its visual receptive field. And the way the map is set up, it's inverted. So, for example, if you see something here on the right side of your visual field, then a neuron will fire here on the left side of your brain. And then if you see something on the left side of your visual world, then a neuron here on the right side of your brain will fire. To really illustrate this point, look at this figure from a paper published in 2017. We're looking at the visual cortex of a mouse brain, and we're seeing the mouse's brain activity light up as the mouse watches a dot moving around. The way the mouse's brain set up is like our brains too. It's inverted. So when the dot moves up, the bottom part of the brain fires. And then when the dot moves down, the top part of the brain fires. With this information, scientists can basically map out each point in our visual world with a specific location in our brains. The reason why this knowledge is so powerful is because, in theory, if you can stimulate specific neurons in our visual cortex in just the right pattern, you can recreate the experience of seeing the world around us. For example, if you stimulate neurons in the brain in the pattern of a triangle in just the right location, you can have a patient see a triangle. Or maybe if you wanted them to see a smiley face, you can do that too. And that's basically the premise of these computer vision, computer brain interfaces. The patient is given a pair of sunglasses with a small video camera in the center to capture incoming images. That video data is then sent to an image analyzer, which processes the visual images. For example, the processing unit would run an edge detection algorithm, so it could create a mosaic of low-resolution pixels that resemble the object that you're looking at. So this image of a bike might be what the camera captures, but after it gets sent to the visual processor, it gets distilled down into a very basic pixelated visual representation. And this is the image that gets sent downstream to the transmitter. Now, the Argus 2 had a resolution of 60 black and white pixels. So basically, it needed to be able to convert whatever you were looking at into 60 pixels. This image information is then transmitted wirelessly to an implant on the retina. The receiver takes these signals and sends them to that surgically implanted retina electrode. The electrode sends small jolts of electricity to the retina and stimulates the retina in specific patterns. These electrical signals can then get sent through the optic nerve and into the visual cortex in the brain, which the patient interprets as perception of vision. This technology came out in 2013, and I thought it was absolutely revolutionary. This device gave patients with blinding retinal conditions a second chance at vision. Here's a previously blind archer using his Argus bionic retina to hit some targets. And this video is from almost 10 years ago. It's pretty impressive. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for Second Sight and their Argus implant. Unfortunately, Second Sight and their founder/CEO at the time, Robert Greenberg, had difficulty in figuring out how to make their retinal implants financially viable. Second Sight sold these Argus 2 devices for $150,000 a pop, but they were blowing their money for research and development, sales staff, and regulatory specialists to make sure they were doing everything above board for the FDA. And for patients, just receiving the implant was the first step. Each patient would need to work with vision.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to cover that much of the extent of the video. Basically, the premise of the video is that this eye it adds more functionality to what the brain can actually perceive as far as the light, right? Of course, the Neuralink would help in creating those signals, but showcasing those signals, but the bionic eyes would help perceive that to a more realistic aspect to where it's basically it's almost real, right? By almost I mean it is, right? It's able to dissect things from a molecular level, as light, right, and kind of decode that into brainwaves, right? And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's good stuff. I definitely feel like it's a step in the right direction, and I feel I honestly um I'm not exactly too sure what is filled in. He may be what's the technical terminology for an eye doctor?
A suitable, it's something with OCC. So I could be wrong though. Well, you can look it up. Quick Google search.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, I almost said optologist, but that sounds wrong.
Optometry.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
No.
Forget it.
Optometrist?
How do you say it?
Optometrist.
I'm not saying it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know because I've with optometrist. I've got glasses. I should know this. But yeah, he as you can see, he's got the equipment in the back, so he's obviously an optometrist. I don't know who would go out of the way to buy this expensive ass equipment if they weren't, and present as so. But this guy is actually this guy's actually qualified. You can look him up. You can Google him. He's out there. He's public. You can actually go and check out his services and talk to him in person if you like to. But yeah, he's he just kind of gave a little insight as to what the physiological aspects of how this would help in those aspects, as opposed to the technical aspects. He was able to kind of provide that as well because he is a doctor, but he wouldn't be able to exactly provide the knowledge as to the technology with the technology's full capabilities, not capabilities, how they work per se at a code level, at an infrastructure level. But if you'd like to check that out, you can go and check out Bio Eyes. I believe it's by the same company as Neuralink, as they mentioned in the video. So yeah, check it out. Good stuff.
Yeah, speaking of technology, there's also AI generated videos have also come pretty far. There's the new open Sora AI, and basically what you can do with it, you can put in text prompts, kind of like if you were using like Mid Journey or maybe like Chat GPT. And what it'll do is it'll prompt up images, but they're motion images that almost look realistic pretty much. Like, I could see something like this being used in a lot of cinema, um, or maybe for like demonstration videos. But it's definitely come a lot further than what we've seen before with this type of technology. Like, I know it's not new, because we've seen. I know there's like an AI generated video I seen a while ago. I think on YouTube, where it was like a image generated of like Will Smith eating spaghetti or something like that. But this is way better than that. Like it almost looks
I was gonna make
realistic.
that exact same comparison, bro. Because like I saw a video on Instagram where it was comparing the two. Like it was like the AI videos back then and now, and it was Will Smith video of him eating the spaghetti. And speaking of Will Smith, though, this is completely off topic, but that man actually made a parody video of him reenacting that video, which is pretty funny, and like, that was actually cool to watch. And it's funny to see that man make fun of himself, especially after the incident of him slapping who over what. We don't know how, but you know why.
Fuck your mouth. No, but as far as like I was trying to figure out if you guys were talking about computer vision or if you guys were talking about deepfakes. You guys were talking about like the realistic AI images of people that look like other people, like Will Smith, for an example, right? Those are, I guess, deepfakes. You got Donald Trump and the presidents of America speaking, right? And then that's not really what they're saying, and that's not really them. Those are the quality of deepfakes that I feel like, and I definitely feel like that. Oh, not just me, but a lot of people feel like those are a huge security concern, right? Because it infringes upon identity, right? And when you go into identity, you start to go into like social security, you start to go into birth, and what is identity, and stuff gets redefined. Stuff becomes not redefined, but that was a likelihood. But there is ongoing conferences and hearings about the status of identity. You've got Mark Zuckerberg. He's essentially basically a man's been going through hearings for the last 5-6 years, trying to ensure that he is able to vocalize that Facebook is ethical, and we know that's BS. At least when it presents as if it's not trying to sell data and identity. It's essentially a legal black market, right? Is what a lot of these data corporations are saying it, and we're not really expressing that, right? But just to kind of, I guess, get back on track here before I go off on that tangent. Yeah, I feel like with the computer vision biotech or bio eyes, a computer vision being embedded within these bio eyes and being solid replacements for the future, it's a good direction. I don't know if that's what the next topic that Sai Sensei was going to be mentioning. I know you threw in a video. Did you want to showcase that video, or?
Wait, what do you mean? You talking about the tag video?
Yeah.
Oh no. I meant to remove that. That was meant for me to review because that was actually the original speaker on this topic.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, no. That was actually the video that you sent when this topic was actually brought up for us to discuss about. So no. I mean, if you want, you can just show it, but
Okay.
We can move on to the next one.
Move on.
So that concludes our tech and news update. So now we have movies and series. So speaking of movies and series, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action has dropped February 22nd, and there has been mixed reviews and critiques. Zone told me it sucked. And the critiques and bad reviews have all been due to diehard hardcore fans, who wanted the story to go, 1-to-1 with how it is, at least how it was animated. It didn't. I don't think it was like that. It didn't correspond with each other. So because of that disconnect, you're seeing a lot of outrage, and I get that. Me, and that's the whole reason why I don't really like. It's hard for me to get into a live action. I'm very, I'm not enthusiastic when I hear a new one in the works. Because there's another one coming up soon later on in this series. I mean, in this topic of discussion, but it's just because number one, it gives a bad name to the actual animated series, especially for those who haven't seen it, because there's a lot of people who are afraid to touch anime for whatever weird reason, but they would definitely watch a live action version of it. So there's that, and then they usually cut out pieces of the story, or they never go the direction of the story that you wanted to. There's always just those things, and I understand cutting out pieces of the story. And because there's things that are necessary, but I would give you a perfect example of a live action that did it perfectly, and that was One Piece. And that literally because Oda, he had to step in to oversee everything. They did what they knew what they were limited with, and they used what they had perfectly, in my opinion. So I think with that, the next season that's going to come is going to be even better than this one, and that's perfect. That's what we need. So, but in regard, at least for these new series, I don't know. Avatar, I could see that same thing, that same energy resonating here. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I think that as far as like the Avatar: The Last Airbender series that released, I haven't actually got an opportunity to check it out myself. Actually, that's a lie. I did get spoiled on one of the episodes, and from what I could tell, as far as a lot of reviews as well on X, it looks like that a lot of us had the same opinions and bias about it, as far as its quality. It's a very beautiful series, I guess, right? But I think that when it pertains to some of the art, or sorry, acting, or actors that they chose, I specifically didn't like the actor for Aang. I feel like he should have been a little bit older, and just had like maybe made him look younger, um because I feel like that's kind of how he was portrayed in the anime. But as far as like the aesthetic, right, the some of the power systems, right, you had like fire, and you had like um you would see like Appa in the background, and I feel like it just didn't float well. There were some CG like characters up close that looked good, but I feel like it just didn't float well, and I feel like a lot of fans kind of felt that way. Personally, I would have just rather had each of the characters had been like rendered by I don't know, Unreal Engine 5, and then just had like the background like 3D, like a mix of like 3D and maybe like art, right? I feel like that would have been like a really good way to kind of a direction to kind of go with that series. And the the fact that it's its second attempt at a live action, um i I don't, I feel like a lot of fans already kind of knew this, because just I feel like there's just not a way to kind of effectively render um within a realistic environment, like certain power systems, like I don't know, whether that's let's use Dragon Ball for example, right? Like the Kamehamehas, right? We'll use Yu Yu Hakusho's example, right? Like um the spirit gun, right? It looks very cheesy, right? And some things I feel like they just don't float well within a realistic format, right? I think One Piece, it's already kind of within a realistic world, and unless we're going to get into like the hockey, um, like like hockey, um, I don't exactly see that flowing well either. I almost don't ever feel like they're going to adapt hockey. When they do adapt, um, armaments hockey, then they'll probably, it probably won't get as it'll probably get the same reaction as a lot of other live actions. It's just that it just doesn't float well, or I guess boat well. It doesn't boat well with a lot of um a realistic uh adaptations, right? It just doesn't work. And I'm sure maybe one of these days there'll be uh at some point there'll be a realistic um live action that'll actually do a good job, like for example, I'll leave that for future segments coming up. Um, I was gonna spoil that, but I won't. Yeah, that's my
Well,
opinions on
you
that.
well, you were saying you'd rather they go in the direction of the characters being rendered in Unreal Engine 5. Were you talking about all the characters or just like the more unrealistic looking ones like not I almost said Nappa, that's Dragon Ball. Like Appa.
Well, I felt like Appa at a distance, I felt like, so there are certain points where like Appa didn't look right. And like granted, like this is only a course of like 1 to 2 episodes for me. So I haven't reviewed the entire series yet. So take my opinions with a grain of salt. But I feel like that, yeah, at certain points it looked a little weird that a wonky that Appa from 3 miles away looked like so realistic. And it wasn't even like he didn't even it didn't even look like they were trying to make it didn't even look like he was realistic. It just didn't look right. I can't put my finger on it at the moment.
I
Like
get you. It's sort of like they call it like the uncanny valley effect. I think that's the feeling you probably get from that.
that's probably the half of it. Yeah, I definitely feel like the characters, primarily all of the characters, should have been rendered in Unreal Engine 5. And then of course the rest, um maybe a mix of that and of course 3D. um but I primarily appreciate a 3D background as opposed to um just certain things being 3D, right? I feel like that kind of
Right.
puts a focus on those things, and it doesn't make it feel fluid, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I completely get what you're saying. Like it doesn't feel like something's integrated into the world, right? Like it makes it stand out. Like it's not a part of the actual world, and it kind of breaks the immersion for you.
Yeah, it makes it feel out of place. I think the most realistic thing was probably like when, um, what's her name? What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? What's the lightning chick? How am
Which
I forgetting her
character?
name? The light. She.
Azula?
Uh, Azula. Boom.
Yeah, Azula.
Uh, yeah. When she did like lightning, and I was like, okay, that looks a little realistic. That looks like it kind of floats well, but it would
Right.
have looked a lot better. I feel like if she was not a real person. Um, and I'm sure the cast did a good job on it. They could have took a graph of her and just rendered her in 3G. Rendered her in Unreal Engine 5. I feel like that could have been something that could have been done. You know, um, but I feel like like I said, and there's something else that we're going to be talking about in the future, as far as like how that fluidity is going to float, when it pertains to live actions, but and of course the acceptance of live actions, and what is accepted within live actions versus what is not. And I definitely feel like One Piece, its success was due to the fact that there wasn't a lot of um power systems, especially because you only adapted really the first 60 to 60 to 70 episodes, right? um and so there's that aspect as well. So take it how you will. um
I feel you.
let's see, what do we have
We
next?
also there's two new Predator movies coming up. Well, I
Yeah.
think they're both two new movies. Badlands and Prey 2, and they're both in active development. I remember I brought this or we were actually talking about this beforehand. Badlands, like you said, it actually makes me think of more of a Netflix series too. And I was
Hmm.
thinking Prey 2 might actually be the new movie coming up. And maybe like Badlands might be something that's adapted from like that same setup or universe from Prey 2. But I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think they're bringing back a director that worked on some of the other Predator movies as well. So it should be
Dan Trachtenberg, right?
yeah.
um he'll be returning for the project of Prey. So that's something that I definitely feel like that's going to be a movie. And if they do the thing that Batman or the Batman did, where they basically have a movie, right? And then shortly after that, maybe a few months after that, they announce, hey, like this, we're gonna be doing a series to kind of continue off of that storyline. I feel like
Right. That's what I was thinking.
fantastic direction, right? Especially for the Alien and Predator series franchise, right? I feel like this is big news. In fact, that it was leaked, I feel like that's crazy that it was leaked, right? But I feel like it also kind of ties into the whole, this year of 2024 is the year of the MonsterVerse, right? Or if you've ever seen Prometheus, I feel like it was a fantastic prequel to the
Right.
Alien vs Predator franchise, and this is only more to the fire. This is more great stuff. I guess if the movie isn't back in development, right? If it's an active development, the script is nearly done, right? I guess that could mean, I'm assuming that means a 2024 release. What do you think is going to be like 2024? Do you think it's going to be 20 later, or what are your thoughts on it based on the fact that it was released, or there were leaks this year, right? Do you think it's going to be more of an end of the year thing, maybe something that comes relatively fast?
Yeah.
What
I was thinking, not like really, really fast. I was thinking more of closer to end of the year. So like between that October to December timeframe.
October to December. That sounds about right. Um, just thinking on from seasonally, right? I feel like that'd be a great winter movie, like scary type of movie.
Exactly.
Especially if they
That's what
make
I
it
was.
scary, right? Like, I mean, they tend to make those kind of a thriller type of scary movie, but we need something that's really gonna like be, I feel like, Prometheus level, right?
Right.
Prey 1, if I remember correctly, it was all right, but it was sort of kind of reintroducing the Alien franchise, I feel like, if I remember correctly. And it's been a while since I've seen that movie, but um I'm excited, man. This is crazy. This is
Yeah,
crazy. Predator Prey 2. Um yeah, man. uh, Prey 2, that's I don't even know what to say about that.
yeah, me as well. I've seen the first Prey movie. But it's been a minute since I've seen the first Prey, like you. Um, but I think it was a good setup movie. It leaves a lot open for a sequel. So I'm definitely looking forward to what they do with Prey 2. And I'm
What do
hoping that Badlands ends up doing what you mentioned, like how they did with the Batman films, where it just kind of extends off of the universe and gives, a little bit more content for the series to kind of breathe and just give us some more stuff on it. So
have you seen the what are you a huge fan, or are you a fan of the Alien versus Predator series at all, or franchise?
I've seen a couple of them. Mostly the latest ones. I have not seen like the old school like OG original ones though.
Okay, like Alien versus Predator, like 1 and 2 and 3,
Hmm.
like that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty common. I honestly, 'cause I was gonna ask you, like, well, what are some expectations, or what are something you would want to see from, being that it's 2024, and what is something you would want to see from this Alien versus Predator? Maybe, um, because I feel like Prometheus definitely kind of put us, back on the, this is what kind of reminded us, like, this is what happened, but like, what is, or this is something that could have happened, but typically, I feel like there's still a lot of lore behind the Alien versus Predator franchise. Do you have anything that you preferably want to see for the series?
Um, I wouldn't say that I have any particular preferences of what I want them to do. Just as long as they make it um as long as they make it an engaging a movie to watch, I'm pretty down for it. like I'm more of a person like you were saying when you mentioned like the older movies that just recently got introduced into the series. So I don't know a whole lot about the old lore from way back in the old movies. So for me, this is kind of something new. Um, I just hope when they make it, they can do something that they can go back to like some of that old lore, like you were saying, in a way where they can keep older fans of the series interested by bringing in some of those maybe unexplored concepts or concepts that were brought up from the old movies that people would like to see modernized and in the current day, while at the same time still offering something new for people that haven't seen the Predator series or Alien or the old Alien versus Predator, that can gain interest and gain interest for potential new fans. So they can take those two elements and combine them together. I think that's pretty much just the only thing that I want out of it.
I want to say, kind of just thinking back on the older Alien vs Predator series. Like it came off sort of as like a game to the predators, right? Like, fight for survival, right? Between the humans, and if you make it here, if you make it, um, you know, to I I don't want to say the root um thing that they were trying to the aliens, of course, were trying to do is um what is it called, when they try to populate a planet, um is the words at the tip of my tongue, um not
It's
transmorph,
it's all
um
good. I know what you're trying to say though.
yeah, basically try to take over, create a race with the humans, and sort of transform the planet through that, right? But and I don't remember. I'm trying to remember back if that was the intention or if there was something more than that. I'll have to refresh myself because it's been a while. Um, and maybe I'll do like a full watch through, and then kind of maybe voice my opinions on that on the main channel. But yeah, or maybe we'll just do a special segment on that too. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Um,
Y-
ne-
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Yeah, I think because the OG, I think like the original Alien versus Predator, that's like really, really old. That's before I was born. Like the one that I remember, I was really young when I seen it, maybe like 7 or something when I seen a remake version, and I think that might have been that came out in like 2004 or like 2005. And but I've seen the Predator remake that came out in 2018, and then I also seen the 2022 Prey movie. So like my knowledge of the series is very limited, but from what I have seen, I'm pretty interested in what they do with it though.
So yeah, there's apparently, right. There's, just to kind of refresh you guys really quick, right. There's a Predator in 1998, right, set in 1998. There's Predator 2 set that came out in 1990, but it's set in 1997, right. And there's Alien versus Predator 2004, set in 2004. Alien versus Predator Requiem um came out in 2007, the continuation of the 2004 movie. um so Aquarium is essentially right after Aliens versus Predators. Right, there's only one
Gotcha.
other one I'm seeing, and then there's the Predator 2008, 2000. Sorry, Predators came out 2010. Then the Predators came out 2018. There's I don't know why they're listing. I don't know why they're listing Blade Runner as one of those movies. Um, just disregard that comment. Prometheus came out 2008, right? Set in 2093. All right. Alien Covenant 2017, set in 2104, which is Probably why it's so futuristic in that movie. Alien, right? Just Alien, 1997, set in 2122. Aliens, plural, came out in 1986, set in 2179. And Alien 3 came out in 1992, set right after Aliens, right? That triad of aliens, right? Conclusion of, I guess, that in Aliens Resurrection, 1997, set in 2379. This is the chronological order of the Aliens franchise. And just to kind of add more to that, it's going to be, like I said, I feel like I've said enough as far as that goes. But there is a lot of lore behind the series. It's a huge series, and this is a huge thing that this is happening this year. Sorry, you back, man? Not yet.
Present.
Present. All right.
Yeah, I was listening, man. I was actually tuning. I'm not familiar with the Predator series, unfortunately. I am, but like I don't have enough. Like I can't speak on it. But I was tuning in though. I was very much interested. That's fascinating. Though. I didn't know the timeline was like so vast and like that far and deep into the future at all.
Yeah, they're smart because they just spread the timelines out so far. It's like, okay, what's the if they spread them like a year apart, it'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe there's something to kind of dissect here, but and there still is, right? That doesn't take away because of their timeline. I think it just kind of it kind of provides some cushion to their franchise, which is good.
Yeah, that's a whole lot more movies in the series that I thought that there were. Like I thought there were just a couple of like really old ones, and then a couple of remakes that came out in like the early 2000s, and then the ones that we're seeing now. But you had the whole roadmap, so you got it down.
Yeah, man. I one of those one of my faves, man. One of my faves. And I gotta come back to it. I don't see something on the list here that but it's cool because I'm gonna bring it up regardless at some point. Did you want to talk about the next thing, Sai?
I think the next on our list is Dracula. I can talk about that. But last theme, closing out for Prey. Definitely have to come back and talk about that one on the podcast when we watch it, because I'm definitely going to watch that one. That one's actually one I really want to see. But
absolutely.
Moving on, Dracula Untold 2. So for this one, there's a lot of uncertainty in regards to when this film is going to be made. They might not release this one anytime soon, but it was supposed to be the sequel to the original Dracula movie that came out. Well, not the original Dracula movie. There's so many Dracula movies, but
Dracula Untold.
Yeah, on Dracula Untold, that came out in 2018. If anyone's seen that one was sort of a it was like a medieval sort of movie. Well, at least the setting was. And the main character, Dracula, he pretty much wanted to defend his kingdom from the Ottoman Empire. I really like those old school, well, not old school, but those movies that are set back in the day, like during those medieval times. Because I don't know, I've always been like sort of a sucker for those sword fight type movies. But um, yeah, this one I hope they end up getting it together and making it and making it good. Hope they don't cancel it, but yeah, for this one, it's sort of in a development limbo.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I hope that's the case to where it's something that's in development because Dracula Untold 1, I feel like it was pretty damn accurate. Just kind of little insight as to like Dracula. I guess on Untold, if I'm remember correctly, he was like enchanted by a wizard, right? And then he or maybe he just drank. No, I think he drank like some ancient blood or something like that. and he basically became Dracula, right? And then he basically had the choice, which not all vampires have this choice. Right, is he basically had a certain amount of time, or he could not drink human blood, is what it was, right? And
Right.
He basically, in the end, right, because of his restraint, he basically, and his resolve, he had to drink blood, right? And then he just became a full vampire, right? And he's essentially the godfather of all vampires today that we know that are popular, right? Like Alucard, right? Alucard is his son, right? And then of course Blade, right? Blade is his apprentice and enemy, right? Depending on the verse, right? Dracula is he basically he's existed for eons, right? And he's been in so many different fictions. Just being a part, the underground part of a lot of whether that's Marvel, or just the Dracula comic book, right? He's one of the most powerful characters in the in fiction. Of course, depending on the verse, but
Right.
until he'll, of course, I'm assuming he'll take the form of a full vampire, and we'll get to see how strong he is or how many years have went by. I preferably like the scene now. Like I hope there was a movie I think that did very well. I think it was Interview with the Vampire, where it's basically when um maybe it wasn't that one, but that was a good movie too. I hope in this movie we get to see him go to like parts of times. Right. I'm thinking of one of the Wolverines, I think came out in like 2009. That's who I'm thinking of. But no, this is not Wolverine. This is Dracula. Um,
Oh, which Wolverine movie was that? I think I know what you're talking about.
it was with his brother, I think. And his
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It was just called Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah, that was the best
Yeah.
one. That was one of
yeah,
my favorite ones.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite ones. They made that was the best game they made out of Alpha Wolverine, like in my opinion. Like it was so bloody. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I had
Rated
that
M.
game too. I
Yeah, that
remember
game was
that.
lit. I was trying to get the platinum trophy for the longest in that game, and I just could never get it, man. I can never get it. I was like 3 trophies away. I don't know why.
I'd love if they go back and do that back in time vibe for a Dracula movie like they did for Wolverine.
yeah, like I want to see him going to like different parts and times, right? Flashing forward, and then I don't necessarily want him to get to like the present time, because I want it to be future movie like Dracula. There needs to be some like Dracula crossovers. This has to be the Dracula start of the franchise of the new Dracula, right? Like they're doing with Marvel, right? They have to dive into different characters of Dracula's, like who he actually died, who he actually um assisted, right? His apprentices and stuff, right? And there needs to be a Dracula and Blade crossover at some point, right? And they have to meet in the middle, like the Marvel movies, right? Um, I feel like that'd be a great opportunity down the line. I'm dishing out ideas here for free, right? This is just what I do. You're welcome, Marvel and whoever's creating this. I think it's who's it? Who's creating this movie? I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting. But next up we have
Gods
God.
of the Deep, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming this is a Kraken movie. I could be wrong. I'm not too familiar, but I know there was a trailer that released and it looked pretty good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and showcase it here for you guys. And we'll check it out. All right. Hopefully you guys like it. Boop boop boop. Uh-oh. 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 Let's go back. YouTube got me again, man. YouTube got me again. Let's go ahead and boop boop.
Pick selecting candidates for an expedition.
Just want to get home.
Yeah, so that's the Kraken, or that's Gods of the Deep.
Yo, did you hear about the ratings for it?
I did not.
Oh no!
Would you like to educate us?
Yo, that trailer should have given it away.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't the ideal. If that is the Kraken, because the trailer was a bit wonky. You could tell the production wasn't as good as we would like.
Bro, it got one star.
I feel like when it pertains to like the Kraken, right? This could be a step in the right direction, because I think with opportunities like this comes new talent that arises, right? Or at least new opportunities that arise. So this movie, right, because of its title, and it states gods, right? So this could basically influence ideas about the gods of the deep, right? Which is essentially, right, the Kraken, Leviathan, Godzilla, right? All these creatures of our ocean, really, they're supposed to be gods within the ocean, right? And they're some of the most powerful creatures on the planet of the Earth. The Kraken is actually one of the most powerful, aside from like Leviathan, right? Of course, and Godzilla is, of course, the king of the monsters, and then of course, Kong is essentially like the king of the lands, right? But yeah, man, this is great news. This is why I say like this is a year of the MonsterVerse, right? Because regardless of whether or not this movie turns out to be like a high-end movie or high quality in movie, I feel like this definitely kind of it creates new ideas. And just for the sake of entertainment, I am very curious. Let's look at the comment sections, because I feel like they're going to be kind of entertaining for us.
Oh no!
The comments
Oh,
turn
no.
up. Whoa! Hey, never mind.
Bro, I think we should just let's look at the ratings at least. I would love to see that.
Ratings.
Yeah.
Where would we find those at?
Just type in like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, etc. Just various.
Okay, let's see. Guns of the. All right. Whoa. Hold up. This is no bueno.
I told you, bro.
Oh no!
That trailer was should have been.
Oh
man.
no!
Yeah, honestly, the trailer was a bit off. You could tell it was very rushed. He tried to kind of have a lot of impact moments within the trailer, but
were those fake accents? I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, were those fake accents in the trailer that we saw, or were those legitimate?
I didn't catch it. It's very possible that this they incorporated some English speakers to kind of and these weren't English speakers.
Okay, in that sense, that's fine. Okay, I thought if it was forced accents, I was about to say, oh no, that's horrible.
Like I said, when an opportunity, when something like this comes out, opportunity arises, because you already know someone else is going to come, someone with a little bit more bang for their buck is going to come and
bring life to that idea.
And bring life to the idea, right? Like Universal Studios, come on. We need you guys to come in at moments like this. And I definitely feel like that's a huge possibility now that that opportunity has presented itself, right? Yeah, Gods of the Deep, guys. Trailer dropped roughly a month ago, and the movie dropped February 6th. So if it's out now, go ahead and check it out. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. I know a lot of people that really love Japanese live action. Personally, I do not care for Japanese live action. Like live actions created in Japan. Aside from like they made the Godzilla movie that made like 15,000 his first day. Sorry, 15 million in his first. Sorry, I'm completely wrong. Disregard.
15,000 is horrible. That's probably what got so the heat made.
That was made 15 million, right? As opposed to something like Godzilla versus Kong, King of the Monsters, right? That's going to be coming out very soon, I believe. And something like the Godzilla movie that released last year, was made with like $15 million, and it made like record made record hits at the box office, right? So yeah, I feel like there are like a lot of hit and miss, but I guess in my particular case, I don't really care for a lot of Japanese live action. For me, that was just kind of a hit. I guess a one off. And yeah.
I feel you on that. The next one I wanted to bring up, Ballerina. It's supposed to be a John Wick spinoff. That's actually the title of the movie too. Ballerina, a John Wick spinoff. This movie, there's been like so many posted up like fake trailers for this movie. I didn't even think that it was an actual real movie until I looked it up. And apparently it is a real movie. But it's been pushed to come out in 2025. The release date is actually in June of that year.
There's a series that came out too, which I was a little confused when I first saw this too. And so I had to go look it up when it was posted. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is a movie.
Right. Yeah, I was completely confused. I was like, I thought it was just a fan thing, but because there's been so many fan trailers made of the movie, it made me think it was a real movie. But the movie itself though, it's supposed to take place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4, and it follows the main character is a member that he met in one between I think in John Wick 3. Yeah, it was definitely in 3. She was a member of the De Armas family. Apparently she's an assassin, so movie's about her.
She's gotta be.
Gotta be. I think she's supposed to be hunting down, from what I've seen of the pretty much all the fan trailers, the people that have come and killed her family in the movie John Wick 3. So I like the John Wick movies, so kind of interested a little bit.
I already know the plot. I feel like I already know the plot. Basically, they killed her dog, and then they killed her.
Revenge. Yeah.
John Wick was like, they killed your dog and they killed your family. I'm gonna train you up.
You know what?
Assassin.
What?
Yes.
It would be crazy if they twisted it up and she had a cat instead, just because.
I would immediately turn it off. I would walk out.
You said a cat? No, bro.
It would be funny
so fast. I'd be like, a cat got killed. I'm done. I'm done.
Bro, cats are very
popcorn right where it stands.
Nah.
I feel you. I'm more of a dog guy myself.
Nah, the cats, bro. Cats. I'm watching.
It's not because it was a cat. It's just because it'd be a straight copy paste. Like they just had no creativity. They're like, it's a John Wick. And
I even probably hop through the screen and hop in and help on their journey. If it was a cat, I might have to throw hands too. Shoot.
Yeah, they're so they're so vulnerable. I mean, they got 9 lives and everything, but you hit them one good time, it's done deal,
Oh no!
Like roadkill, like with cars and shit like that.
Exactly, they're done. When you hit a dog, they might survive.
They have a better chance of surviving for sure.
Exactly.
Did the dog? It's been a minute since I've seen John Wick 4. Did the dog that was with him in John Wick 4 make it to the end?
I think he just forgot about it. Like I think we all forgot about it. We're just like, oh, he has a dog.
Yeah, I think
what happened to the dog?
It just kind of vanished. You're right.
It's crazy. Imagine if that was a plot hole in the movie.
They do it so well too. Like it was like, okay, this scene, like maybe he handed his dog off to like somewhere important, and we're just like, okay, he trusted it with I'm forgetting the Continental. He trusted the dog,
but he died too, though.
Did he? I don't know. You kill a second dog, this man may have to retire officially.
So I guess I'll have to watch John Wick series.
Not that he can retire, because they just won't let this man retire. They're like, bro, you thought you were out of retirement? No, now you're in part 2. Now you're in part 2 of retirement. Now you got to fight to stay in retirement, right?
Anywho, concluding our movie and TV series segment, we have another live action announced. Yay! Our favorite, Naruto. Naruto. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier in regards to Avatar. How I'm not really excited about this one because I feel like it's too soon. Number one, I think the whole reason why we're seeing a Naruto out is because of this. Solely because of the success of One Piece, and not because of why it was successful, but just because of the success alone. So people are going to think, oh man, because One Piece was good, a lot of people are going to tune in to Naruto, but probably be turned off after the first episode. I could be wrong. I'm hoping and praying I'm wrong, but
I was just talking to Breezy about this. How I don't feel like, and I don't know if this is what you meant by it's too soon, right? But when it pertains to having like power systems, like similar to like the Yu Yu Hakusho when the Dragon Ball live actions where they had like the Kamehameha and the Spirit Gun, right? I don't think those mesh well within that realistic environment. I feel like there has to be some type of like characters that are I feel like the characters probably have to be like grafted and then of course formatted and rendered with Unreal Engine 5, so they're almost real, right? You could fit like maybe a 3D background behind them, and at that point, maybe you could do something similar to what Spider-Man. What's it called? What did they do? What's the Black Spider-Man?
Which Spider? Into the Spider-Verse.
Miles Morales, yeah. That. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name. I haven't even seen the movie myself. I haven't either.
Yes, it's Into the Spider-Verse.
I know I'm missing out.
Or they kind of had like a mix of like some 3D in there, for like the web, and then of course, so those things kind of mixed within there. I feel like may kind of mesh well, but I don't think that the power systems flow well. I truly believe that the success of One Piece is due primarily because there's a lack of power systems within the first 60 episodes. Granted, of course, Luffy's stretching ability, which has been easily renderable for decades now, that's something that could easily be accomplished in this day and age. So is it a feat? I wouldn't say so myself. I definitely feel like that it's a peculiar situation that a lot of directors really have to look at. Now this is going to be adapted by the director of what's his name, Shang-Chi. That's the live action that was on Netflix, or was a movie on Netflix. I believe it's called Shang-Chi or Shang. How am I forgetting with the?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's Shang-Chi.
Is it Shang-Chi? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, there's I guess some hope, because the fluidity within that movie was executed very well, I think. But will that same level of production go into something like Naruto and fit? I feel like fans will be biased regardless, but like I said, or conflicted, I guess rather. Um, and if it's not fluid, or especially as fluid as something like the Avatar series, or more, preferably, then it just won't work well. And so I think it'll just depend on the time. I really feel like the characters shouldn't be like live actors. I don't think that'll float well, unless these are popular actors, or like the next hot talent, and this is a 7-star movie that we're going to go see. I feel like at that point the production may go up a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not too optimistic myself about this live action. Oh yeah, and
I will say, yeah, my bad.
I didn't realize you left. It is Shang-Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings. To be more specific for you guys, yeah.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, wait, what was that you said? Zone? I didn't catch that last part.
No, I just forgot the name of the entire movie. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
It's
called.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, in regards to the power system, how you brought up, that doesn't fit well in the live action realm. I will say, at least in the beginning of Naruto, the power system mostly revolved around elemental based attacks, and you didn't see too super complex jutsu like Rasenguns and shit like that. Granted, that is probably like as complex as a jutsu can get. Maybe like you have your shadow paralysis, and that's not even. I wouldn't even think that's hard to like use CGI with. But yeah, the crazy big powerful jutsus that I can think of, maybe like Sasuke's Kirin, the Susanoo. Those may be things that will be hard to like.
We're not gonna get that far. Yeah,
exactly. And it depends on the success of the first few, like how we do even in the first part. First part we don't see levels of that power. Like we see crazy levels like with Genjutsu, shit like that. So that's why it can be successful if they just I don't know, but like again, I think it's coming out too soon, mainly because like they're betting on, because One Piece was successful, like they're gonna try to carry that success over into Naruto simply because of the name Naruto itself is being pushed out there. So I don't know, but I could be wrong, and hopefully the director that's given to them does it justice. But we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, I can't even imagine like how they're gonna pull off like some of the part 1 stuff, like for example, like the multi shadow clone jutsu. When he does the hand signs and it's got that poof, like that poofing sound, and then all those clones, like how is that gonna work in
That's
live
easy
action?
money. Easy money. That's probably the easiest thing to do, honestly. Like
I feel like it's gonna look very Attack on Titan-ish. Like, have you ever seen the Attack on Titans live action? I feel like it's gonna look.
Oh yeah.
I
see.
even the Rasengan, like, it's gonna look similar to like I don't know, because it's again by the director of Shang-Chi, so it depends on the quality of the actual series or movie, right? That's the live action is going to be adapted into. But it could be looking like the Dragon Ball Evolution, Dragon Ball Kamehamehas, or it could be looking like the Yu Yu Hakusho, what's it called, Spirit Guns. They look all right, but they just don't fit, right? And maybe at the worst case is the Dragon Ball Evolution. That's like the worst.
Oh no.
You can get. And so
that name shouldn't even be mentioned on this stream.
I found Dragon Ball Evolution. This is a hot take. I found it very entertaining, and it's not because
no, I get you. It is, and that and I know exactly what you're about to say. It is in that sense.
It's
like, damn, how could it be so bad?
It's funny, yeah. It's so like this is so different that it's funny. Like I can't. That's the best way I can describe that.
Have you guys seen a movie? I believe this is a horror movie called Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen that.
So that to me is the same energy that I'm getting from Dragon Ball Evolution. To me, that movie, I don't know why, but Drag Me to Hell, I found that movie hilarious. Like my family, like our family, I don't know why, for whatever reason, we just decided to watch that movie on family night. This was years ago, and it just turned out to be a comedic night for whatever reason. It was just so many parts where I don't know why we thought we were supposed to be. I don't know. We thought something was wrong with us basically, but we were laughing. A lot of parts instead of screaming, and then we just questioned ourselves after that movie. Basically, we asked our friends and stuff like that, and they were like, "No." Like I remember my friends, they weren't even allowed to watch that movie. I was like, "What?"
Is that like in the end? I remember watching it, but I'm trying to remember like is it the same movie where the girl like she ended up going in the cabin and she like the last one to survive, and she basically died because she got dragged to hell, and when she went in the cabin. And you're like, why the fuck would you go in the cabin?
It's just goofy. The whole movie was goofy, man.
It was. I'm not gonna lie. I laughed at parts of that movie as well.
Yeah. So that concludes it, of course. Our movies and series segment. Next up, we have Elden Ring. Elden Ring gets an exclusive DLC titled Shadow of the Erd Tree, right? Releases June 21st, 2024 for all platforms. PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox, whatever. I don't even know how many Xboxes there are. But I am about to get one. Yeah, all platforms. Yo, if you've seen this trailer, I honestly, I'm tempted to play it right now. And as someone that's been playing, someone just kind of got started the Elden Ring storyline over the last few months, and then hearing over the last few weeks that there's going to be like Elden Ring DLCs that are potentially going to be coming out, and then this releases just this week. It's fantastic because the world of Elden Ring is so large. There is so much in it, and the story is phenomenal.
Bro, I was keeping you playing, and I saw you open up the map, and I was like, "Yo, that's a big ass map,
bro." I needed help because I was so lost. I was like, "Bro, there's hidden doors. You gotta your sword against hidden walls that you would never suspect unless you're familiar with the Dark Souls franchise. That there's in this dead end, maybe it's like a hidden wall, right? But just looking at it, you would never suspect there's a hidden wall right there. That there's no map, there's nothing, right? And so it's and then there's so much to it. There's light that you can go into different caves. There's so many classes, and you could be a mix of everything, or you can specialize in one thing or maybe a few things, and have competitive PvP or co-op. It's seamless. You can just kind of go to a certain area. You could fast travel. You could travel to certain areas. There's so much to it. And personally, for me, someone that is a fan of something like Final Fantasy, or has been a huge fan of Final Fantasy, I feel like this is a huge step in the right direction when it pertains to open world environments, right? I've actually been thinking like maybe I should like start up a Let's Play for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I've been hearing a lot of fantastic things about that as well. But I'm being that this DLC just came out, I'm at least finishing the game. And apparently there's like a max of like 713 levels, which personally I don't have that kind of time, but I will make some time to get somewhere near that, right? I probably won't get halfway, but I'll at least complete the game one time. You could do that within a few weeks, honestly, especially with tutorials out there. and then still, like, without being fully spoiled, because people in the community, they're so embracive, they're so forgiving, and they basically ensure that there's not as much spoilers. And then, of course, basically people play, there's something called New Game Plus. You can do that a few times, right? To where you basically keep completing the game, but it resets itself. You keep your gear. It's very immersive, and it's good. But as far as the DLC goes, right, this only adds to the storyline, and there's going to be more DLCs, and that's the crazy part about it. Because with this DLC, and actually there's more of the map or maps that open up, that's going to be accessible, and additional bosses, which some of the bosses look badass. I think I don't know if I should finish this off with just kind of, unless you guys want to provide some insight, as to, like, what to expect from Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree. But I mean, I guess the best way to kind of word this is, Shadow of the Erd Tree is going to basically dive more into not America. It's essentially like the first god, right? Who kind of birthed all these children that became bosses, but they had to kind of fight. They were tarnished, right? Which is the default for what you are, essentially. All right, they were tarnished before until they became demigods and gods, right? And the bosses, like, if you don't know how to fight them, it's unforgiving. They will they will murk you in a second, and it gets frustrating, but it adds that sense of, like, of accomplishment when you're able to kind of complete that. And you're able to co-op them with certain people too. Like, if you need help, you could bring in 1 to 2 people, if you know people, because if you don't, hey, you're out of luck. You're going to have to fight that boss on your own, or level up somewhere. And the game doesn't, I mean, a game has its fair share of bugs, like any other game, of course, but they're constantly being patched, and there are methods to get what you need and to farm those things efficiently, to get to a certain point, to fight things effectively, right, in a forgiving amount of time, without really kind of investing too many hours within the game. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, definitely check out our Let's Play on the Voyager channel, and follow us on Twitch. Yeah, I guess I'll finish this off, and I guess we'll give our opinions on the whole bits. If you guys have any opinions, after this, it's only a 3-minute trailer, so maybe I'll skim through it. I don't exactly know yet. Here we go, right here. Oh, it's not it. Where we at? Here we go.
Pure and radiant, wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men. There is nothing more terrifying. In that forsaken place, blood must spill. Blood of your fellows. The Earth Tree faithful.
They were never safe. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of life?
This guy.
I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Mikala is doing here.
Those stripped of the race of gold shall all meet death. The new race of restless flame.
Come now, touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Is that a fighter ability? Yo, I swear I learn things every time I watch that, and I've only watched it like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, that is Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree DLC releasing this summer, so look forward to it.
Oh yeah, that looked promising. That looked very fun.
Absolutely.
But yeah, my bad. Moving on. Our next game in our game segment, we have Power World. So we have good news and bad news. So starting with the bad news, some die-hard hardcore fans, they looked into the game files and they found that apparently we're missing some actual in-game files that are actually rendered. There are files that are shown that it doesn't seem to be rendering. However, it's stated that from the devs, and this is the good news, that they are in the process of developing these files to be usable and playable characters, because there are some cutscenes within the game where you see pals that are not playable yet. So they say these pals will soon be playable, and the files that are shown that seem to have unrendered pals, those will be soon playable as well. So, and basically they say they have a whole bunch of planned DLC that all this is supposed to be this wasn't supposed to be leaked, but apparently it is leaked. So yeah, they have a whole bunch of plans in terms of content that they're going to release for the upcoming 2024 year. So definitely look forward to that and stay tuned.
And not a great start. Not a great start for someone who's trying to take over the Pokemon verse.
Also, some leakers have uncovered that it's supposed to be coming pretty soon. There's a Metroid Prime 4 and a couple of Pokemon remakes coming to the Nintendo Switch. From what they're saying, it's supposed to be sometime this year, probably in 2024. There's not an exact date for these two. They know for sure. One of the names that they got for Pokemon was a remake of the classic Pokemon Gold and Silver. That's something that I played way back when on I think I had on like old Nintendo 64, like I had the Battle Stadium version of Gold, I think. And then I had Gold and Silver on the DS as well. So looking forward to it. It's something I'd be interested in playing if they went ahead and remade it.
So concluding our game segment, PlayStation, they're set to release a series of exclusives starting in February. So This includes Pacific Drive, Warhammer 40,000, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, Strange Horticulture, and King Arthur Knight's Tale. So from top to bottom, Pacific Drive, that's a RPG that's set in a radioactive wasteland. I saw some gameplay footage. This actually looks pretty solid. It looks pretty decent. Yeah, I was about to say I didn't get the system, but yeah, all of these are PlayStation exclusives. So yeah, I just said that. Anyways, so Warhammer 40,000, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. Yeah, this is a game where you fight plagues using big swords and guns. I can't remember too much of it, but yeah, that if you like, zombie-like creatures and using guns and big swords and whatnot, that's the game for you. The next game, Strange Horticulture. This is a puzzle game. When I say puzzle game, I'm talking like actual puzzles, like mazes, actually putting things together, getting through stuff, figuring things out, getting clues and stuff like that. So it's like there's kind of strategy behind that as well. So that's interesting. The next game is purely strategy based. It's kind of from the gameplay that I saw, and this is King Arthur Knight's Tale, by the way. From the gameplay that I saw, it kind of reminded me of like Final Fantasy / Pokemon-esque gameplay, where you have that type of strategy game. So yeah, these are all going to be PlayStation exclusives coming soon, starting as early as late February, which is very soon, clearly. So I don't know which one is actually coming out the soonest, but I believe probably Pacific Drive in the order that I stated them. So yeah, definitely look forward to those. Yeah, that's it for our
interesting PlayStation. Huh?
Oh yeah, PlayStation's taking over, man.
I was just about to say that. It sounds like they're going like genre at a time too, because a lot of the ones that you mentioned, they sound like either they fall into like a strategy type game or like a turn-based kind of game going on.
What was that last part? My bad. I didn't catch that.
Oh, I was saying they're either releasing a strategy game or a turn-based type game. Like when I say turn-based, I mean like like how he was saying like old Pokemon or like the older Final Fantasies, that type of strategy game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like they're just releasing stuff in waves of like different genres at a time.
Yeah, man, PlayStation is always trying to up the competition when it pertains to like not just being able to be competitive with console gamers, but PC gamers, mobile gamers. They want to create a platform for everyone, and I think that's it sets the bar. It's just what they do. It's Sony, man. Yeah. Last up, I guess. Last up, we have something that I wasn't going to mention, but I will now. We have something that's going to be airing that we've been talking about for a few weeks now. The Ones Who Live. This is a Walking Dead series spinoff. As you guys may have known, the series Walking Dead concluded last year, I want to say, beginning of last year. And 3 spinoffs have came out as there's the Maggie and Negan one. There's a Daryl Dixon one called Daryl Dixon, and there is this one right here, which is supposed to be a Rick and Michonne one, which is supposed to tie all into the Walking Dead universe. And if you know anything about the Walking Dead, there is a comic book for it. This is supposed to be the finale of it. I don't exactly know how many seasons this is going to be. I'm assuming maybe 2 at the most. But there's supposed to be a character that makes an appearance from another spinoff within the Walking Dead franchise within this series. And a lot of people are speculating that's Morgan, but for a lot of you guys out there, that you guys should know that they really increased the production from the Final Fantasy, from the Walking Dead franchise. that the Walking Dead series that ended to the spin-off. The production quality has went up astronomically, right? And I'm just going to show this trailer right here. It's a very short trailer, and you may see some things that are interesting if you guys are fans of Walking Dead, and you guys may not. Now, it's good to note that this premieres tomorrow. So for you guys that are excited for it, some of you guys that weren't really in the know that this is going to be premiering tomorrow, you can find it on AMC apps. I'm not an official sponsor for this, but I hope you guys enjoy this. Yeah, Walking Dead, yeah. So, all right, for some of you guys that are like completely new to this and you're like, what the heck is going on, right? The Walking Dead universe started off with this cowboy here and this samurai here, right? Who or a former cop, right? And the samurai here who essentially, right? There was a point, and I won't spoil too much, but of course, our main character here, Rick, who was vital to the original Walking Dead storyline, disappeared for we'll say unknown reasons at this moment, right? Unsuspicious circumstances, right? And there's this organization, right, who essentially has tried to centralize security within the outbreak, right, of the Walking Dead, right? And there is no idea. There's no one knows what the cause of the outbreak was. But there is speculation that this organization has ties to that. And each of these spin-offs are supposed to have corresponding information and ties within this organization, right? So it's a vital organization. This organization is called the CRM, and they play a very vital role within the, we'll say, politics within this world. It's not very political, but it is very there's a lot of dictatorship within this world, right? There is a lot of conflicting communities within this world, right? And if you watch The Walking Dead, the original Walking Dead series, you'll see exactly how certain communities were traversed, right? Or how they dominated, right? And so, yeah, this is huge, and I will be watching episode 1 tomorrow. Sorry, episode 1, yes, tomorrow. The start of the Once You Lived, the Walking Dead spinoff. Hopefully, I was able to kind of convey that to you guys. Again, it is available on AMC and AMC Plus. It's an app you can download, and yeah. I'm excited.
The trailer looked pretty interesting. Best trailer, well, as far as movies go, or not movies, but I would say entertainment wise go, besides the video games that we've seen so far.
It almost kind of reminded me of like some of the newer Resident Evil quality zombies.
Oh yeah.
And
I kind of get that vibe too.
But as you continue on through the Resident Evil universe or the series, you'll see that the zombies change, and there are changes within this franchise as well, but I won't spoil them, right? I wouldn't say they are as drastic in the direction that Resident Evil zombies kind of go. It's not like the T virus. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I have no idea. But it's, I don't know. That's a good correlation. I didn't really make that connection before, as opposed to like whether the CRM is like the umbrella company corporation, right? But I wouldn't say there is or it isn't. I wouldn't say that it is, because there hasn't been a lot of allure behind deep rooted, as correlations to, like, between the two Umbrella Corp and of course the CRM. But yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna just give my thoughts. I personally am like, what, 5 seasons behind in Walking Dead, unfortunately. Ever since you know who died, and then there's a lot of who's, because I don't want to spoil it, because there's might be someone out there that hasn't even seen the series. So there's a lot of moments where that happened. But ever since who died, I just like, I can't watch this anymore. But I mean, that's a lame excuse. It wasn't really that. It was just like my motivation. He was my main motivating factor for the series. So after that, I was like, I have no reason to really watch this. But yeah, I mean, I will get back into it one day. But seeing that trailer, I'm very interested, because at the end of the day, I always wanted to wonder. I mean, I always wondered, what caused everything, how they can go about resolving this, whether it be, what's the resolution to this. Like, is it eradicating everyone? Like, is it eradicating all the zombies? Like, is it finding the source? Do they have a cure for the zombie? Like what it was, what, you know what I mean? So I always wanted to figure that out. For that, we weren't really getting anywhere, at least at the point I was at. It was more or less like still finding a place to survive, and the dictatorship shit going on. So yeah. But yeah, the trailer, it looked promising. It looked very promising.
I honestly, from what I recall, right, I want to say the writers came out and said that you don't necessarily have to go all the way back to the Walking Dead series to appreciate the spin-offs, right? Though they play a very vital and important role in the plot. So whether there'll be flashbacks or not, likely. But I feel like the journey is definitely going to feel a little bit more overwhelming when it comes to certain plot points. So yeah, fantastic. Yeah. All right. I don't know. Did you guys have anything else for this episode 8 of the Sync Zone podcast?
Nah, that's it. Just enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your Sunday. Make sure you catch up on any anime, movie, manga, anything. Tap into your creative side. Yeah, just enjoy yourselves. That's the best thing I can do. Say and give it to you guys.
Yes. Well,
just take it easy.
Absolutely. Do what you guys can to enjoy this time as we come closer to the spring season, and start watching some good material and playing some good stuff. You guys know we'll be in the Sync Zone, of course, and you can catch us live every weekend. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video. Follow us on all social media, and we'll see you guys next time, travelers. Peace.